And there are times where I'd try to reach in and rip a weed out, and it would just pull the top off, right? And in this apprenticeship program I've been in, my mentor speaks a lot about tending to our gardens, our personal gardens, our inner gardens, and really creating a beautiful inner garden of who we are and what we're cultivating. And I had this hands-on experience of pulling these weeds and realizing that you have to get really low, and it has to be a slow, direct pull up in order to get the entire root to come out with it. But it's not something that can be rushed. If you don't want to disturb a lot of the soil around it, and you want to make sure that you get all the way to the root, it's actually quite a care-filled process. Tuesday, July 21st. It's about midday. I'm just getting ready for my great grandmother's funeral. 100 years old. Incredible woman. And just an opportunity to go appreciate all that she was, all who she was. Now, my homework for life. I've got a fair bit to share, so I'm going to try to keep this very succinct. Yesterday morning, I spent the entire day pulling weeds from this garden. We did this landscaping project for this friend of ours. We rebuilt her entire staircase, and I've thought about starting to take short videos so you guys can actually see the life that I'm living. If this is something that you'd be curious about, if you want to see me at the ninja gym or the work projects or any of these homework for life moments, I'll try to capture them as best as possible. But comment below if that's something that you're like, yeah, we'd love to see more of that, or when I play music or whatever. But I just thought it was very fitting because I slowed down my entire process to just start pulling these weeds. And there are times where I'd try to reach in and rip a weed out, and it would just pull the top off, right? And in this apprenticeship program I've been in, my mentor speaks a lot about tending to our gardens, our personal gardens, our inner gardens, and really creating a beautiful inner garden of who we are and what we're cultivating. And I had this hands-on experience of pulling these weeds and realizing that you have to get really low, and it has to be a slow, direct pull up in order to get the entire root to come out with it. But it's not something that can be rushed. If you don't want to disturb a lot of the soil around it, and you want to make sure that you get all the way to the root, it's actually quite a care-filled process. Now, the same is true when we're tending to our inner gardens, because the weeds are these old stories, narratives, templates, blueprints that are not serving us, that started to just grow because that's where we were putting our attention. And anything that we are anxious about or constantly pouring our attention onto, where we're placing our focus, the things that we're afraid of, the things that we're unconscious of, the things that we don't want to happen but we're slowly energizing, these are the weeds that we slowly get to weed out. And so I had this beautiful moment of just like, wow, I'm actually physically tending to a garden, and this is what it feels like, the pace at which I have to move to make this happen. And it was so satisfying because by the end, it was just a very clean garden space. Now, my dad and I are working and we're building, and I've only got until 2 o'clock, so we're rushing through this a little bit. We want to be as efficient as possible, and out of nowhere, this little kid runs up and he's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay, hey, what's up, dude? We're just building." And he looks up at me and he goes, "Coach Jake." Keep in mind, I'm about 40 minutes from my gym. I'm nowhere near the ninja gym. And this kid is like, "Coach Jake." I'm like, "Dude, what the heck? This is one of my ninja kids." And he just slowed the entire pace down because he was so curious. He wasn't concerned about making money. He was concerned about learning. He was just, "Oh, why are you replacing the stairs? Why does the deck have to look like this? Why do we do it this way? Oh, can I try standing on it?" And endlessly curious. But it also just had me slow down for a moment because I realized this is an opportunity where I get to teach him something other than ninja, just a sport of skill and balance and all the things, but also to realize that at our essence, the most childlike nature of why we're here is not to just make money and to rush through doing so, but rather to get curious about all the intricacies of life and to learn along the way. And so, really beautiful opportunity to just slow down. That was my little nugget of homework for life. One, it was very odd that it was just a child that he's like, I ran right past my friend's house I was supposed to go to, and I found you. And it's just like, my dad said, crazy coincidence. I say, coincidence, yeah. Is anything, right? And the reason that I said I was going to make this quick, but the reason I make these videos so intentionally slow and unedited is because I really do believe in creating something that is opposite of the algorithm. It's like I'm not here to push views and to get a ton of likes. I'm here to cast a very unique human signal that only certain individuals will pick up on. And so if that means I sacrifice the virality, so be it. That's not what I'm here for. The last little thing that's been on my mind is I've been working on designing this new logo for this t-shirt that I really want to wear. And they've got like 3 or 4 different slogans that I just want to wear clothing that like has something. Usually I wear nothing. These are blanks. These are all just like empty blanks. I wear blank blacks. I wear blank grays, blank whites. But I've noticed that I've sacrificed a lot of the color. I've let a lot of the color in my world move into the digital realm. And as a result, I haven't been as colorful. So I'm like, let's bring back the 80s, baby. Even though I didn't live in them at all. Let's bring back the 1997s, baby. But I like wearing things that get people to reflect or get curious. So I'll share a couple of those at the end here for those of you who are still watching. And yeah, that's my reflection for the day.